Good morning. I'm here today to discuss radon gas and to show you how I'm going to install it in my house. And the reason why I'm going to install my house, I just moved in 1 year ago and I was smelling and just feeling weird. I was having shortness of breath and issues like that. So I decided not only to see my doctor and run a bunch of tests, which we've done, we have one more test to run, but to also test my home and to find out if there is radon. This house was built in 1959, so it is an older home, and I didn't say I did purchase it just about a year ago, and I did not have it tested because I lived about a mile from here before and never had a problem. So anyway, radon gas, it's an odorless vapor that comes from underneath the slab, and the only sure way to get rid of it, from what I've looked up under EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, is to properly install an abatement piping system through the subfloor and out. In this video I will show you how I'm going to do it, and you can watch each step by each step. So let's start with the first step. I thought that there was something wrong. I purchased this radon gas detector, which was a 7-day test if I recall, and I sent it away to the laboratory, and I picked this up at Home Depot. The test came back in about, I'd say 10 days, and you're supposed to not have any more than 4, I think they call it centimeters, I'll just call it centimeters. Mine came back with an average of 8.5, which according to EPA says that you should remove it. You should abate it. You should get rid of the gases that are in your house. So the items that I need, let's go further. So I went back to EPA to find out how to remove it and watched some videos on YouTube and so on and so forth. And this is the risk assessment from the health from EPA. If you're a non-smoker, it basically says if you have 8 parts per million, you should fix your home. Even if you have 4 parts, you should fix your home until you get down to about 1. So once I'm done, I will retest a long test, which takes, I think, 21 days. You can purchase that same thing back from Home Depot. So as a non-smoker, it's the same thing basically. You want to get down to about 1.3 centimeters before you're safe. So we'll know after we install it. Now there's a couple systems that I thought were interesting, and I'm hoping I'll know the difference, because today I'll be piping it out the building, in through the slab and out the building. I've ordered the necessary parts, which is the pump and the electrical switches and stuff to get this done on the outside, but they're not here yet, so I have all this other work. But here, according to EPA, there is 2 types: a subslab depressurization system, which is passive, meaning that you just put a pipe in the ground and you take it outside. Or there's a subslab depressurization system, which is to put the pump in, which I'm going to do. And I'll show you as we go along. And then I looked, well, what's the regulations on that? So some of the main regulations, we go back to another page of the EPA rules, and it basically says that you should, to follow requirements for depressurization, you should be above the eave of the roof, which basically means above the gutter, be 10 feet or more above the ground, be 10 feet or more from any window, door, or other opening, which means vent stacks, which means any kind of opening up above, and 2 feet below the exhaust point. Structures are less than 2 feet below the exhaust point. 10 feet or more from any opening into any adjacent building. Now, one other thing it didn't show here is you have to have a meter, which I'll show you later. It's a flow meter that you attach to your pipe that's inside the house, that tells you if the suction pump outside is properly working. We'll get into that later in this video. So for now, we'll stop and we'll get to work. We have to figure out where we're going to put our hole through the wall, down into a closed ceiling, And we'll go look at the room that I've chosen real quick. So stand by. Okay, we're looking at the room that I've chosen to put this pump in. Now there's a closet here to my right, which I don't want to be in the closet. And as you can see up the wall, there's a drywalled ceiling. Well, when I bought the house, the entire basement has been drywalled, which is nice. But now I've got to penetrate that drywall to get through the slab, which takes me to the outside, to the atmosphere. So we'll go to the outside, work our way in and work our way down. That way we can make minimal holes. And we will put our main piping system down here in the ground. So I'll show you how to do that and how to stay close to the wall at the same time without getting everything out of the way. And I had to move a dresser there that was in the way. Alright, we'll continue on. Alright, this is the next step. I'm outside and there's my window well and there's another window well, and if you go up to the roof you can see that I have a satellite, but from the satellite there's two vent systems for the sewer and for downstairs. And away from here I would be 10 foot away to about center of both of these window wells. So I'm going to proceed and find out where I need to be to drill my first hole to stub inside the house to bring out my pipe. Alright, get you the next picture when I'm done. Hello again, we're at the next step. We have gone inside and actually made our first hole. But I'm outside now showing you exactly kind of what I did. I had a hole saw that I actually bought at Harbor Freight because I needed a larger one for the 4-inch pipe. And the largest one I had was 4.5 inch. And the price for this with like 12 other pieces was $17, and with the coupon $14, 20% off. So this is probably a one-time deal. Use this drill bit and never use it again. So this is the outside and it goes inside, and we'll go inside and take a look at that, how we started. Hello again. Yes, I measured off the wall to put my pipe a few inches away from each corner. That way it wouldn't be so tight to the wall, but also give me some distance to get everything right. And as you can see, my hole, which is the same hole as that hole saw, it's actually a 6-inch hole saw, no, 5-inch. Because my pipe's a 4 and 5/8 inch diameter. So you'll see once we get that through there. But the next step is to come down here and start working on the hole. And I've got all the plastic and stuff in the way now. So I'll lay out my hole and drill that out, and I'll let you know where I'm at. Well, welcome back to the next part or phase of this project. This took quite a while. I had a 6-inch concrete slab, so I drilled around it and jackhammered to get that open. And I had to remove the carpet, and then I'll put it back and you'll see that final. And I also dug down in the dirt there, which is hard to see, but I dug down a full arm length all the way around. So you have a lot of dirt removed. I had 4 to 5 5-gallon buckets taken out. And up here you can see that I put the pipe in already. So we have the 90 coming down from outside, and we're ready to connect here and connect it down into the bottom. And so what I want is the pipe to go at least 2 inches below the bottom of that concrete. That way it'll be able to get all of that radon out of there. And then we're going to seal it, and I'll show you what materials, and we'll go from there. Alright. Back again. That hole we were looking at, I'm going to be sealing it with backer rod, which will fill the gaps up before I put any type of concrete material or sealer. And then I'm going to be using Fast Plug. Fast Plug, which is a quick cure, and it'll seal around the hole and do everything I need to do. And you'll be able to take a look at this. I'm prepping the pipe right now and getting the hole ready. As soon as I get that hole ready and cleaned up and ready to go, I'll pack it up and put this fast-paced cement in there. Alright. Okay, now we got it sealed with the Bacharach inside of it, and we put that concrete stuff. Now on that concrete stuff, it also says it's, which I forgot to say, that it's good as a seeder for radon. So you specifically want that. And I mixed it in the bucket with the trawl, and it's 3-to-1. There's a little scoop inside, so it's really easy. I kind of got a little bit big bucket, but it's still okay. Turned out alright. So I'll let that dry. It says 3 to 5 minutes. I'll put the carpet back on it and clean up, and this phase will be done. As you can see, it's hooked up and all glued in until we get the rest of the parts, then we can continue on. Alright, we'll continue on. Bye. Well, hello, we're back again. It's been about 5 days and I finally got my manometer and the radon flow pump. So I put the manometer in, and as I was doing that, I actually tipped it. So I went online to see exactly what was inside that tube, because you can see that tube is, as the flow pressure takes it out, that should zero off and go the opposite way. So what I ended up doing was putting what was that, mineral oil to replace the liquid that was in there. It's just a little heavy is what we're looking for. So instead of being all blue, you see I had to totally remove the other material and just put some mineral oil in there. So we'll go outside and we'll begin to work outside to finish this and to do all the caulking of the exterior and interior, run the vent line and all that other items. Alright, so we will continue on outside. As you can see we left off here. Now in that manometer I actually put olive oil was what I put in there. Now the vent cap that I've got on here that you can see, that's going to come out, that's going to go up on the top of the vent, and that's just to protect it from dead birds and stuff. So I'll get to work on putting this all in place. Okay, it's time to catch up. I put in the exhaust, as you can see, or shall I say my son put it in, and I gave him instructions of what we could do here. What we did was let's start here. We caulked the opening with latex silicone, and we put a piece of unistrut just to hold the support, even though it's already on the wood. It's on the bottom of the base there. But put in some anchors, and we've got a piece of unistrut and some all thread, and bent that around to shape it, to make a U-bolt here, to make sure that there's no weight that would hurt it to the base. So it's got a nice, strong, sturdy base, and we came up and I put a no-hub clamp because I had it around extra, and then we put a Michelin coupling, which they call for clamps that can be removed in case you have to take the radon pump. Now the electrical hasn't been run yet. Waiting on that. Have to get the permit for the electrical, and my brother's an electrician, so that also makes it easy. As you can see, we come up with the 45, and the reason why for the 45 is because there's a stud. It was, I think, around 10 inches over from where my opening was at, and there was a stud here. So I pencil marked it, and we put it up. Try to put as plumb as we could. Put our straps. Now the hardest part was trying to find something to anchor it on. I didn't want to put a piece of unistrut in the back of the wall there, so I took a coupling, a regular 4-inch coupling, and I cut it in half. Well, yeah, I cut it in half, and I put it on the wall with some longer bolts in the stud there, some screws, not bolts. I didn't use lag bolts, I just used some longer 4-inch screws. And then on another 4-inch clamp. I took off one of the clamps, so there's 2 clamps here for some support. And so we have it on our vertical rise here. We have some nice clamps. So there's other ideas. If you can come up with one, that's great, but this is the only thing I could think of to strap it up against the wall to keep it sturdy and to make it look semi-good. Now, with the glue that I chose, different colors, and it wasn't clear, and I made kind of a mess there. This can all be spray painted and tied in and made it, you know, make it match the wall, make it match the color there, and that's not a problem. That's all cosmetic, and that can be taken care of later. But now as we go up, I decided to use 290s instead of 245 because of the way the angle was. It was way too, so I wanted it higher to the roof. And then you have your gutter. Now the minimum spec says to the eave of the gutter, which means basically an inch above that gutter. So I took it 2 feet above. Now is it too high? There's no, the specs say right above the eave. I have it higher. I can always take it lower. And then the cap that I showed you earlier, I screwed it on rather than glue it on in case it gets full of leaves, or in case something does die up there. I can take it off and check it, make sure that the vent is always open and that it's looking good. Also, by moving this over to that stud, I kept my distance from my vents, my sewer vents, of actually 11 feet. So I'm 11 feet instead of 10 feet, so it's better. Make sure nothing goes down the vent, even though the vent's a closed system, and I have no indirect systems to cause problems. So I've got straps, as you can see on the top of the straps. I went into the wood up on top. I got straps here, and so it's pretty secure. It shouldn't go anywhere with winter coming, and I feel really good about that. The only last thing I had is that I got all these stickers that came with the radon fan, and I guess you're supposed to put all these stickers on saying, you know, don't tamper with this. This is the fan, and then downstairs some other stickers. Now, I wanted to mention that the top of that vent exhaust, I couldn't find it in the supplies for the vents, so I ended up going to the where they do the duct work for running duct work and stuff, and in there that exhaust thing actually belonged to this little piece of pipe here. So it was a vent. Apparently it would be going like a dryer vent or something. So that's where I got my top from, just to let you know, because there's a lot of things here that just miscellaneous things that all these other shows don't tell you about. And I've seen a bunch of videos, and there's a lot that just come out the wall and then they cap it off, and I'm shocked because, you know, it has to go up, it has to escape. All that gas has got to go up, and they say to the eave of the roof, to the gutter, to the eave up there. And so I'm like, these people are exhausting it right out the door and right out the. It's just amazing. But I went 4-inch. We'll know more exactly after I get the fan hooked up, and after I test it on a long-term test to make sure that radon's working, that it's exhausting and working and moving that manometer and getting some flow going. So I'll know later on. But meantime, this is what we've got. This is how to install it. This is how to make your to get it in. And if there's any more information, I will come back and continue with this video, or I will end this video. I haven't decided yet. Have a great day. Bye. Hello, we're back again. It's been a few days, and now the electrical has been installed. As you can see, it was hooked up to a switch, and from the switch we went to an outlet, which is what do they call it, circuit breaker outlet. So if water or something were to get in this plug, or something were to happen to the pump, it would hit the breaker, and so this would go out. Plus I've got 2 plugs, so my brother did a great job. And then it goes along the line, which is pretty close to where it has the main panel, goes right to the main panel, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. But so it's installed now. As I've said, you can look at this and know the mistakes that I made. And what I did make, the biggest mistake in my mind, was to not use clear glue. or adhesive or PVC glue, whatever. I had the primer and the glue, and I could have bought them both in clear. If I had bought them in clear, you wouldn't have this blue, and I probably wouldn't have to paint it. But either way, it's pretty good as an eyesore, and it's a pretty big eyesore. So I may do something to block it. You know, put something in front of some kind of bush or something, some kind of, you know, fake tree or something. But it's right in front of my barbecue grills and stuff, so it's in a nice situation. And you can hear the motor running. It's pretty darn quiet. Let me let it listen to it for a minute. But I was very excited because I had told you earlier about the olive oil, because I had spilt the blue chemical stuff that was in there, probably some kind of olive oil. And when we go downstairs and show you that, you can see how it's drawing out how the olive oil did work in that tube, in that meter, what do they call it, manometer. So in the manometer I replaced with olive oil. So let's look at the panel. Let me take you around here to the back, and we'll look at the main panel that we hooked it up to. And let's see, we'll go kind of quick here. But the electrical comes in, and there is a 15 amp breaker. It's the fourth one down, and I labeled it the 15th amp breaker. So it was a 15 amp breaker. It goes straight shot down from the panel, and this whole panel has been replaced a year ago when I bought this house. So as you know how to do this, it's not bad installation. You know, if you know electrical, then you can do the electrical yourself. I'm okay until I get to the panel, and I'm not very comfortable once I get to the panel, so that's why I had my brother do that. But wiring it back and, you know, running outside wire, and no problem. So I'm gonna turn it off, we'll reset it and go downstairs, and I'll take a look and show you some of that. We're downstairs now, and there's the manometer where I had replaced with olive oil. And if you remember the last one, it was on, I had zeroed it out 00. Well, you can hear it, plus you can see it drawing. If you see the draw there, it went up to 1.5, whatever that means. And so that is one of the requirements for the health department, that, you know, kind of keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't stop. And if it does, then we got something wrong with our pump up there, our vacuum. And as you see, it goes up. The same thing, I should have used clear. But overall, I mean, I'm really kind of proud of this. It turned out real good, and it wasn't really a big project. Just it ended up being that I had to wait for parts, and I had to wait for this, and I wanted to get the pipe in just to kind of get the exhaust going. But so if you like what you see, remember, this is an amateur. I've put this in my home because initially I wasn't breathing. Something was wrong, and I've had actually 3 heart attacks. So the shortness of breath, I thought first was related to a heart attack, but it wasn't a heart attack. It was definitely, I can tell you that it was, the shortness of breath definitely was from this radon. And now that it's moving, it's been 1 day, we put it in yesterday, and now that it's been moving good, I can tell the difference down here. Now I will run the test, a long-term test. I'll wait a day or two and then go get that kit and run the 21-day test and see what I have. So if you like my video, please hit like and follow me, and I'm hoping to put out some more videos on other things and windows and stuff. I've already done so many things that I should have made videos, but anyway, this is my first real video. So I hope you like it, follow me, and have a great day.